Welcome everyone! Today's episode will be on adding party members. I realize this won't be something necessary in every fan game, but I personally feel a lot more motivated with it implemented, and it just makes the game feel more complete. Anyway, this tutorial is based off the code found in this video by 1UpIndie, with a lot of my own additional code for our specific needs. Go watch that video below if you want an explanation on how the actual mechanics of the characters following each other works. Thank you again for the support. We hit 85 subs! Last video got 20 likes, so let's aim and get that again. I can't promise the next video will be out next week sadly, because I've had quite a few roadblocks to making these as of late, but I'll try. Don't forget to check out my brother's channel below, where hopefully this week he'll start uploading his own beginner series on how to make Undertale Deltarune style pixel art. So first, I'd like to quick show some camera settings I forgot to show for larger rooms. So as you can see, I have under my viewport here some settings that I didn't show you because I had it in the time lapse by mistake. So let me show how you need to do that. So under your rooms, let's just create like a test room for this. If you have a large room already that's larger than just like the window size, then that works too. So let's just name this RM large, right? Okay, so let's change the room size to be like 600 by 600, like that. Okay. So now we got this room here. Let me just add a tile set here so that we can actually make sure it's working. Okay, so now we have this room here just as a test because it's in large, right? So if I tell my game to start here, and we're gonna set it to room large for now, just so that we can test it. So and let's also make sure to delete our ini file so that we don't have our saved data from before loaded. We need to go here, we need to say enable viewports, right? Visible, then object following, we want it to be the player. We also need to make sure that we have this horizontal border here. Set that to 160 and 120, like that. And for the viewport properties, let's copy whatever we have here. Mine's going to be 1280 and 960 because I'm going for a larger window size. Yes, now it follows the player, and yeah, obviously we didn't actually set everything up as it should be. So my apologies for not showing this in like part 2, I completely forgot. I'd like to say thanks to Master Attack in the Discord for bringing this to my attention when he showed me his pretty awesome looking fan game, which should be on screen right now. You can find his channel linked below. I'm planning on starting to show off my subscribers' fan games at the end of my videos, so join the Discord below to show everyone your stuff and just chat with the community and ask for help if you need it. Okay, well, anyway, now we need to go to our object titles. Yes, game start event, we're already there. Anyway, so we need to create some new variables here. So we're going to say global.party_exists equals false. Then we're going to have to say global.entered_new_ room equals false. That is false. And just like we had to make some room IDs so that the rooms don't get like all switched around whenever we add new rooms when we're trying to load the save, we need to say party IDs, and these are going to be the IDs for the party members. So let's say global.p1 or p0, I guess, equals 0, and then in our comment here we're going to say which party member that's going to be, and in my example I'm going to use Susie. Global.p1 equals 1 and then that's going to be Chris for me, and global.p2 equals 2 and that's going to be Birdly, or not Birdly. I'm gonna do what I'll say. Okay, so so these are gonna be the different possible party members you can have. I'm gonna only show how to program in 2 party members at most, like in your party at a time. Just because it makes it really hard to do the battle system once you get like beyond 2. But anyway, so now that we got that, we want to go to down here, and we're gonna say after we save the y here, we're gonna say global dot party underscore member underscore 2 underscore follow underscore distance equals ini underscore read underscore real, and then let's say save 1 comma, and then we're gonna say party 1, oops, party, that is party 1 oh no, party 1 distance, okay, and then comma 40. Right, so then what we can do is just copy that. Oh, this should be a 1. Okay, and then go down here, and you know this once you want this to be 2, and set this to 2, and this 40 to 80. Okay, and now down here, we can kind of just copy this code for defining what the room IDs are for the party members. So the member underscore 1 equals 0. Oops, I actually messed up here. This we need to copy this, and above it we can delete the follow distance part, and then just change it to party 1, and then we're going to set the default as global dot p0. Okay, and now we can do the same thing for 2, and change this to 2, and we'll set this to 1. Okay, so then down here, party 1, 0, start room, we don't want that. Party member 1, 0, and this is gonna be actually just copy this part, paste it, and then we're gonna say obj underscore Susie. Oh wait, we don't have Susie. Let's create some objects for these characters real quick. We'll add sprites and stuff later, but for now, let's do obj underscore Chris and obj underscore Rouse. Okay, so now back to the title screen here, equals obj underscore Susie. Okay, and then paste. You can set this to 1, and remember 1 is going to be Chris, and then paste, and then 2, that is going to be Rouse. Perfect, and then we can paste all that again, and then for the Susie here, we're going to change this to 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. Alright, so basically what we're gonna what's happening here is in our save, we're gonna save our different party members as the IDs up here, and then it's gonna set whatever ID we have saved to our whatever our party member. Okay, there you go. I'll fix that. Party member 1 and party member 2 is, and then we need to set whatever our party member 1 and 2 is to whatever the ID corresponds with. You know, again, we just have to do this so that whenever we add a new object, it doesn't mess everything up, and we have to, you know, restart the game if we already have a party. So we can actually add a comment here and just say like, assign party members to correct spot. And the party member 1 is gonna be like the first person after the leader, and 2 is gonna be the second one. And you know, we just want to have all the possible combinations that you might want to have in your game. Alright, well, so now back in player, in the create event, we want to say party underscore follow equals false. Okay, and then we want to say, you know, comment here, load direction facing, because I forgot to set it so that it can save which direction you're facing when you save the game. So let's just quick add that here. We want to say ini underscore open, and then appearance dot ini, and it needs to be in quotation marks. Right, and then we need to say facing direction equals ini underscore read underscore real, and then save one, comma, facing, comma, 2. Alright, and then, oh wait, I don't know why I put the brackets here. Those should not be there. There you go. And then we can say if facing direction equals 0, sprite underscore index equals SPR underscore Noel walk down, and then of course we can just copy paste that 4 times so that we have our different possible directions, right? So then it's gonna be from down, then left, then right, and up. Okay, and after that, just ini underscore close. Okay, so now that we have that done, we can go down here and say store past positions for the party. Okay, and I'm going to say follow underscore points equals 100, then 4, and then follow pause equals follow points minus 1, follow underscore pause. Oh, I need to set this to follow. Okay, follow pause is greater than or equal to 0, follow pause minus minus. Okay. So this here is just a for loop, and if you want an explanation on that and like, you know, the next few like lines of code I'm going to code, go watch the video again that I mentioned at the start, that will be linked down below by 1UpIndie. Alright, so now we just need to say player underscore x, and then follow pause equals x. Okay, and then we're gonna say player underscore y, and then I'm gonna say follow pause equals y. Okay, so then we want to say pass underscore facing, and then follow underscore pause equals sprite index. Okay. Alright, so now we need to go to our step event here, and we also want to create a save direction Okay, and this is going to be the code that actually lets us save our direction. So let's say save direction facing. So this is going to load the direction facing, but this here is going to actually save it. Right. So we're going to say if place underscore meeting and then x comma y comma obj underscore save. All right, then our brackets, and then if sprite underscore index equals spr underscore Noel walk down, and then again brackets facing direction equals 0. All right, and then we can copy, paste, paste, oops, paste, paste. All right, down, left, right, and up, like before. All right, and then we're gonna set this to 1, 2, and 3. Okay, perfect. So now, for the actual party stuff, we're gonna say update position for party follow. Okay. Say if global dot party exists is true. Here we're gonna say if x does not equal not equal x previous, or does not, or y does not equal y previous, and x previous is going to be the position for x on the previous frame. And so wait, we want to put this here in parentheses, and this instance does not exist object underscore fade and then we're gonna make some space here. We'll create another for loop. Follow underscore pause equals follow points -1 follow pause is greater than 0 follow points pause minus. Okay, and then we're gonna add our brackets. Player underscore x, and then follow points equals player underscore x follow pause -1. Right, and then we can do that for y as well. Perfect. And then we can say past underscore facing, and then follow pause equals past underscore facing follow underscore points. No, pause -1. Okay. And yeah, so then here, yes, we want to say player underscore x 0 equals x. And then, of course, when we got an x, then we must have the y. Alright, and then past underscore facing 0 equals right underscore index. Then we want to say if, oops, caps lock, alright, if instance underscore exists, obj underscore fade, and obj underscore fade dot party underscore warp, which we'll define that variable later. For now, we'll just add it, equals true. Then we're going to say instance underscore create layer x comma y comma on the player layer, and global dot party member 1. Okay, and then we can copy it, paste it, and do the same thing for 2. Then global dot party member 1 dot in party equals true. And of course, we can do the same thing for party member 2 without the v. And then obj, oops, obj, trying to enter, there you go. Obj underscore fade dot party underscore warp equals false. So now we can actually go to our object fade. So in the create, let us go here, say party, because this is going to deal with the party stuff. Alright, and then all we gotta say is party underscore warp equals false. Perfect. And then in the animation end, we have a bit of code here. Okay, so up here, we're going to say party, and then if global dot party exists equals true, then we can go here and say party underscore warp equals true. Then global dot new underscore room, global dot entered new room equals true. Global dot new underscore room underscore facing equals object underscore layer dot right index, which would be, there we go. And then obj underscore player dot player x equals -1, and then of course we got that x, so I need that y. Okay, then obj dot player, wait, no, underscore, my mistake, player dot path facing equals -1. obj underscore, oops, object player dot follow points equals 100. Then we need another for loop here. Let's, okay, for, and then I'm gonna say object underscore player dot follow pause equals object underscore player dot follow points -1 semicolon, then obj underscore Chris dot follow underscore pause is greater than or equal to 0, semicolon, would be J underscore Chris follow underscore pause minus minus. Okay, I actually made a mistake before because we need this semicolon in our other uses of this. So yeah, here we need semicolon, and here we need semicolon, as well as here we need semicolon, and then here we need semicolon. Alright, back to object fade. So what we want to say is obj underscore player dot player x, and then obj underscore player dot follow pause, and equals x. Then as usual we can just change the x's to y's. Perfect. And then here we want to say for then obj underscore player dot follow pause equals obj underscore player dot follow points minus 1 semicolon, and then obj underscore player dot follow pause is greater than or equal to 0, semicolon, obj underscore obj underscore oops, wait, no, obj underscore player dot follow points dot follow pause minus equals 48. Then we need our brackets. Then here say object underscore player dot past facing obj underscore player dot follow pause equals obj underscore player dot sprite index. Okay, so after here we want to say if global dot party exists equals true, then we want to say if party underscore member underscore 1 equals obj underscore Suzy, then I didn't put global dot. Okay, then you can say ini underscore write real, then under save 1 comma, then we want party 1 comma, and then global dot p0. Okay, and then we can just copy and paste this for our other two possible party members, which are Chris, and their ID is 1, if you remember, and the ID of 2 is going to correspond with Ralse. Alright, and then we can copy and paste it for party member 2. Just make sure to change this to 2, this to 2, and this here to 2. Alright, so now what we want to do is create a script for our party. So under scripts here, I'm going to click create script, if I can find it, here it is, scr_party. So a script is basically like a line of code where you can just like type this and then it will run whatever code we put in here. So let us get started with this. Alright, so first thing we want to do is define our, what variables can be inputted in the brackets for our, or the parentheses for our scripts. And those are going to be party_member_1, comma, party_member_2, comma, and disband. Okay. So basically what this means is that whenever we want to create a party, we can just type scr_party, then our parentheses, and then who we want as our first party member, who we want as the second one, and if we're disbanding the party or not. And that will be true or false. So let's say if disband equals false, we are going to say that global dot party exists equals true. Let's turn caps lock off. Then global dot party member 1 equals party member 1. And then we can do same thing for 2, like that. Alright, so then party member 1 underscore follow distance equals 20, we'll say, and then copy paste 2 equals 40, and this is going to be how far each party member is from the leader of the party, and you can adjust these values as you like. I like them at 20 and 40. If you want to go above 100, you will need to adjust the value here, I believe. Okay, just to actually have that work. But anyway, so now we need to say global dot party member 1 dot in party equals true, and then of course same thing for 2. And then we can say else. So this will be if we do say we want to disband the party, what we're going to do is just say global dot party exists equals false. All right, so now we need to actually add the code to our followers. So first I will download the sprites for the characters that we need. Okay, so now that we have our sprites on each of our party members, actually wait, this should be Rouse. Okay, and this here should be Susie. Yeah, just make sure you click persistent on each of your party members so that they will actually persist through room transitions. Okay, so now let's start off just by going into Susie. We are going to create a create event here. I'm going to create a variable npc underscore mode equals true. Then we're going to say new underscore room. I said mu. Oops. New room underscore facing equals spr underscore sus lockdown. Okay, or sus lockdown if you want to say it like that. But anyway, then in party equals false. Okay, and now for the step event. We are going to say animate as our comment. So if in party is true and our global dot, oh never mind, true, we want our brackets, then we're going to say sprite underscore index equals spr underscore Seuss walk down. Okay, but then delete the space just to make it a little easier. Okay, so then else we want our sprite index to be spr underscore Seuss walk left. Oh wait, and we also want to say in party equals true here. Equals true. Okay, and then let's copy that here. I'm going to change that to right. And then copy to up. Then we want to copy our don't shake code so that the sprite doesn't shake as it's walking around. Then we want to add a comment saying party hollow. Alright, and then we're gonna say if in party is true, then we're gonna execute. Oh, is that code here? Yes, okay. So if obj underscore not buttons player dot follow points is greater than 0, npc mode equals false. Okay, and then we're gonna say if in party equals true, and that then we can have our NPC mode here. Yeah, okay. So now if global dot entered new room equals true, here we're gonna say if global dot new room facing new room facing equals spr underscore Noel walk down, and this will just be whatever your player walk down sprite is. Then sprite underscore index equals spr underscore Susie walk down, and then we're gonna say new room facing equals sprite index. Okay, and then we can copy this for our other directions. So down, left, and then right and up. Okay, and then finally, if sprite index is not equal new underscore room facing, then global dot enter new room equals false. Okay, and so this will just make sure that the party members are facing the correct direction when entering a new room. Alright, so then here we want to say switch, and then obj underscore player dot past facing, then global dot party member 1 follow distance. Okay, and then we want our brackets case spr underscore Noel walk down colon sprite index equals SPR underscore soothe, walk down, semicolon, break. And again, this is something that if you want to understand, I would go watch the video that I linked in the description. Alright, and then you can do this for the other directions. So then we're gonna say if object underscore player dot player x, and then global party member 1 follow distance, and then it's not equal 0, and then x equals obj underscore player dot x global dot party member 1 follow distance. Then same thing for y. Yep. Alright. Then else if instance underscore exists, and then object fade x equals object fade dot target x, and y equals object fade dot target y. Okay, and so now we actually need to here say if global dot party member 1 equals self, then we can add brackets around all of this, like that, and then we can tab that all up. Okay, and then here we can say else brackets, and we can copy all of this and paste it here. So anyway, here what we can do is change this from 1 to 2, and then change this from 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Okay. Alright, so then we can say if x does not equal x previous, or y does not equal y previous, brackets, then image underscore speed equals 1, else image underscore speed equals 0, image underscore index equals 0. Okay, now finally we can add the last line of code we need for our thing here. If in party equals false. Wait, what is it? Oh, that's in front of it. Image underscore speed equals 0, NPC mode equals true, sprite and NPC mode equals true. Okay, and so now we can copy all of this for our other party members. So let's first copy this. Okay, so now let's copy the step event. Copy. Then let's go to Chris. Add event. Step. Okay. Paste it, and then we just need to change anytime it's Susie to Chris. So we can press Control Shift. We can press Control F. Click Find and Replace. So find SUS and replace it with Chris. And yep, SUS is the only time we use that, so we can just click Replace All. And now that is all done. And we can go to where I'll say here, add event, step event, copy. I copied it. I did not mean to do that. Let's copy. Okay. Go here, paste, Control F, find and replace. We're going to find Susie and replace it with Rouse because that's how I named the sprites for myself. Like that. Okay. And yeah, so now that should all be working. So to test this out, what we can do is we can create a test object. So let's create a group here for test objects. And let's create objects. We'll name it obj underscore party test. Okay, or party tester. Let's name it that. Okay, and then we can also create a group for test sprites. So all right, let's just create a sprite for this here. Edit image, and we'll just write like a P because for party, that's a bad P. There we go. Let's add an event, or I'll add a step event. If place meeting x, y, obj, player, say scr underscore party, and then for our first member, let's have Susie, or I'm going to say object underscore Susie, then object underscore Chris, and we don't want to disband it. If you ever forget, it will tell you what each thing needs to be if you hover over it. So let's add it into one of our rooms. I'll add it into here. Okay, my bad. You actually need to say if global dot party exists equals true here. Yeah. Then the thing's down here, and we can tab that up to just make it a little easier to read. Okay, and in our scripts, we need to add a line where if instance exists, most instance does not exist, and then party member 1, then instance underscore create layer x comma y comma, and then we want the layer to be layer, and then party member 1. Right, then we can do the same thing with party member 2, like that. Okay, to make sure that it actually saves the position of your party when you load the game, we want to go here and say global dot party exists equals ini underscore read real save one comma party exists comma, oh wait, this should not be real, this yeah, it should be okay, and then just 0. Okay, and yes, okay. Now this is gonna be a string, so we're gonna change this 0 here to false. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is in our save object here, we want to go here, if global.party exists equals true, we want to make sure to ini underscore write string, and this is gonna actually tell us that the party exists for when we're loading the game. Party exists, comma, and then global.party exists. Okay, so now in the create event of the save, you want to put this little code here to make sure that it creates the party if the party exists. So let's test that out. If we run it and press continue, it does not work. Oh wait, I didn't see it. There we go. Now the party shows up. Now I just need to figure out why they're not moving. Okay, so looks like we want to change this from points to pause. That is my bad. And yes, so now hopefully, yes, there we go. Now it is working. Oh, looks like I just forgot to actually change this image here. Alright, so now that is looking good. All these sprites are working as they should. And I can run and they follow. And then if I start the game and we all start there, perfect. Great, so now it only seems I need to fix issues with the layering. So let's quick do that. Okay, so in order to actually make sure that there's no overlap of the characters like this, we need to create another function object, and so we're going to call this obj underscore no walk on head. Oops, head. There we go. You can call it whatever you want, but or you can call it no overlap or something, but I just want to call it that. Yes, I'll give it Papyrus's bed as the sprite, because why not? So what we need to do is first on the title screen, we need to drag it in here wherever, just then back over here, we need to check persistent and uncheck visible. So that way it's always going to be there, you just can't see it, and yeah. You don't need to even give it a sprite, but I just like to. Anyway, for fun. So let's leave the card here. Yeah. So we need a step event, step. Okay. So basically all this is going to do is just arrange them so they're at their proper depths that they should be. So if we run the game and we continue, right? And then I try to do that, it works as it should. So the party script requires that we have objects here. So in order to have just one party member, what we can do is we can, under our function thing here, we need to create objects, and this will be obj underscore party place order 1. Okay, and then we can, let's just give it a sprite for fun. Here, we'll make it a box. All right, and then we can just duplicate and 2. Okay, and then what we need to do is you gotta make sure uncheck visible, check persistent for both of them. Okay, then in the title screen, we want to just drag these guys in so that they will always be running, or not running, but be there in case we need them. So basically, if we ever want just one party member, we can just set, instead of this, say obj underscore party placeholder 1 or 2. The reason I made 2 is so that we can have just 1 and 2 and then true when we want to disband our party. Oh, okay. When you're creating the party, make sure it's always false, because otherwise you're gonna have what I did just there, and it's not gonna work. Oh yeah, and another change, I'm sorry about this. Instead of having an else statement here, you want to have it be if global.partyMember2 equals and then the name of the character you want. Same thing up here. Yeah, make sure you do that with all of your characters like this, where you just take this all the way to down here, then paste it, and then just Control F and replace anything that's not what you want with unique. So Susie to Chris, right? And then sus to Chris as well. Okay, and then that should mean that they can all go into any spot of the party. So we're kind of gonna need to go to our title here and add some party IDs for the placeholder ones. So yeah, we're gonna have pn1 for p-1 equals -1. This would be placeholder 1, and then we can do the same thing for 2, -2, and this will be placeholder 2. There you go. Yes, so then we need to add that to our save thing over here. If equals object, and then party placeholder 1, it will be p-1, and then if it is 2, or no, 1, right, 2, and then p-2, and then, yeah, we can copy this down here as 2 and 2. Okay, and then this is party 2, and this is party 2. Okay, and then we also need to here add the objects here for the placeholders. Party placeholder 2, right, and then add it for 1 as well. And same thing for if we're looking for party member 2. Okay, so make sure you actually have this set as the right number, because otherwise you're gonna have issues like I did. So let us save that, and yes, I need to, if you ever have a mistake and you need to delete your INI file, just make sure to do that. So now if I get my party, save, then load it up. Now that works good, and everything is as it should be. So to test, to make sure that disbanding it works in your thing here, what we can do is just set this to, it doesn't really matter, it can be whatever, and then set it to true. Alright, and now if we run the game, We have our party, as we should, and then we touch the thing, and they're not in the party anymore, and they're in their NPC mode, and obviously that would lead to them being in a cutscene or something, which we'll go over in the cutscenes tutorial. And that's it for today's tutorial. Thank you for watching. Make sure to join the Discord and show everyone your game progress. And if you wish, I'll show it off here. This here is an early version of a Flower King Dark World by PuddleCat. Very cool. His channel will be linked below. And this here is some more of the game by Master Attack called Ultimate Custom Night Undertale Edition. That was from the start of the video. He's making some wonderful progress, it seems. Again, his channel is also linked below, so go check him out. Next tutorial will be on adding control customization, so stay tuned for that. Good luck and have a wonderful day.